7:14. I just saw the parts of the Republican debate, and
back door! Back door!
I guess it's like a lot of stuff, mostly true. Still mostly true. I'm headed to one of the dispensaries here in San Francisco. We won't be going inside, but you know. That place is called Mission Organic Center. In the 5200s, I think, on Mission. The topic of the CNN debate was defense, and I've been thinking a lot about that recently. I've studied I guess how forces interconnect, you know? Like in that kind of everybody with helmets on, you know? Octave, like. But really, to me, defense in the way that we talk about it nowadays is looking at it, you know, with not the right approach, you know. It's a whole really complex issue because we haven't, as far as I know, always valued the contribution or the sacrifice of just about anybody that's done any work on America. So that happened with our soldiers. From a lot of accounts that I've read and heard and seen, at least, you know, in movies, I've read in books about the treatment of people. But a lot of the same points Black Panthers were making about Vietnam, like stuff that I've put up from Angela Davis on Win-Win on the End, are stuff that if you take out Vietnam and you put Iraq or you put another thing, it's the same exact pitch. They even had that movie Wag the Dog. Some of our tragedies may have moved money. So, to me, it's always good to learn from your mistakes. You never want to repeat mistakes. We have experience that I don't know personally, but I've seen dynamics depicted in movies. The civil rights movement, Mississippi burning. From what I understand or what I saw in that movie, the treatment that was coming from the precinct into the community created a need for federal oversight to come to the precinct and change the precinct's behavior in the community. So the precinct was negatively impacting the community's health, And here came Gene Hackman and the people, you know, that they depicted in the film. To me, that same principle is it's sort of a natural one. It's like diffusion and like salt and osmosis. It's like tide, but sort of how salt leaves something, or, you know, if you have negative energy, then at least a stabilizing energy has to come to that negative energy. So when we talk about defense, we have to talk about you know, like sort of the entire sort of nature of like reality, sort of like how you deal with reality, how you interact with things. Because we've heard of this thing karma, that's very real. We've heard of Newton, who said that every action has an opposite and equal reaction. And we have all of these economic agreements that from my understanding, countries have have gone broke just to try to get out of. Argentina is an example I could remember, that they went broke in other stuff just to get out of an IMF deal they had with North America, us, the gringo. So, you know, we talk about stability. There's a pretty famous book called Tales of an Economic Hitman about how some of these deals got put together. But we also have to understand ourselves in a different way. And so we have to appreciate ourselves, realize we are appreciated, and kind of rework those dynamics if they need them. Which, if someone blew up a building here, and we have a footprint in every country in the world, that's illogical. Or it's something that's still in process. So beyond the fact that we have these economic agreements which destabilize nations, but that likely had an aim of containing not just the race to nuclear, but also any kind of ability to leave your borders with anything. Containment, they started, from my understanding, after World War II. Truman, with the true man, after the Franklin Delano Roosevelt administration. So this is a pretty complex story that I must not know all of the story, because it's like, how do we have all these things going on in the world where we're so needed, allowed in the space, sharing space with people, providing some form of apparently security, yet this concept of stability is so important. We have this stuff was literally in the Bible. Christ himself, stuff that they put in red in Bibles now. Do not worry about reports or rumors of wars. I don't know if all of these places exist. Not even half the people from the numbers that I have even have passports. So can you win an election with that? I guess is something that you could think about, or you could say, how the fuck more than half of the people in the country, when nobody gets acknowledged for the work they do in America, half of the people can't even afford to get out this place. But this is the shit. You know? This is the, you know? So we have these layers to it of we want peace. We don't have peace here from the modern telling of American life. Like there's crime, there's heroes after crimes, after villains, after a whole bunch of stuff manages to produce villains out from the same American soil, which already doesn't sound right. Sounds too split. And so I say all this to say, like, bendito, like, I don't know, the world is maybe a lot more peaceful than I know, but certainly this is something I've like discussed before. I'll try putting up some of the information I know or I've researched about some of these, like they call them, I guess, international financial institutions. So a lot of them were started after World War II, are multinational investment and development funds and banks. But if that stuff is all true about that they destabilize governments, that, you know, it's like it wasn't until recently that I connected the thing I read about or I heard from Isabel Allende that I put up online, that the poorest and most backward countries in the world are the ones that are worst to women. And so it's like you change a ruler, but to what end? Not only do we bleed other places for resources, but we're actually drying out of food in the ghetto. They have food deserts. So, I mean, we're here bleeding other people, and like I wrote in a song, you know, this is not a pumpkin patch for you to take everything good and put nothing back. These are things that, you know, it's like, and this is how that dynamic, that same dynamic of health, of putting out health, being in healthy relationship with others, being stronger than the negativity that comes to you, to keep it from coming through you, you know, being that wall for a tremendous amount of bullshit, which parents know about because they spell words around kids, you know, or whatever, you know, the stuff we do to talk around people, and, you know, like, those dynamics, really, we have examples of them at home. We do have to totally eradicate poverty. We have to. This practice of rape does not coexist with the modern life. What's this other thing? You know, so many other. You know, it's like this new stuff. You know, I used to say this. I don't know it's 100% true, but it probably is. That about 100 years ago, less than 100 years ago, in fact, because we started using pesticides from what I know in this country in the 20s or 30s, maybe the 30s, early 30s. But before then, cancer was like, you would be in a circus if you had cancer.
Please hold on.
You know, like, this is in clusters now. and we can't like connect the dots to find enough people that care to like. So you know, this is why it's like I'm very about someone who's attuned to the dangers of someone who is vulnerable, like a mother, you know, like Erin Brockovich, you know. So we're at this 20 something. This is probably 22nd. I'm gonna get off the next stop actually. I just got this iPhone back or Bizac or something, but I you know, I don't got the money for the bill, but I do got the money for this, so blah blah blah. But you know, blessed be, and God willing, we get to talk about this in person soon and stuff. Excuse me. Excuse me, getting off. Excuse me. Thank you, driver. God bless.